which is just about in Colorado, there are a lot of other expenses or just things that you're going to want to have a budget for outside just the cost of purchasing and owning your home. We're talking today mostly about property taxes, but I just think it's important to understand why so many of my clients and friends and family, just people that I've known that have moved out here to Colorado, one thing that they were really surprised about is how there are a lot of costs associated with having a good time in Denver and in Colorado. Obviously, there's a lot of outdoor activities out here in Colorado. And the great thing about Mother Nature is a lot of this can be done for free. It doesn't cost much to grab a pair of hiking shoes and a bottle of water and a backpack and go get lost in the mountains for the day. So there are definitely very affordable or even free hobbies and activities to get involved with out here. But there are also a lot that can be very, very expensive. And, the examples of this would be stuff like skiing, mountain biking, maybe four-wheeling, going snowmobiling. The list goes on and on, but just to use skiing as an example, this can be a pretty significant expense, especially if you're moving out here with the family. Maybe everybody's beginners and just learning how to ski. We're talking about a lot of different things that you really need to factor in when it comes to making it a reality and being able to enjoy and participate in this kind of stuff. So just skiing, we're talking about not just the lift ticket, which in some resorts is now over $300 a day. That's one day for one person. We also got to factor in stuff like ski lessons, equipment rentals, just commuting and getting up to the mountains, maybe even getting a hotel or a VRBO for the night up there. Goggles, hat, helmet, gloves, pants, jacket. There's a lot of stuff, and all that stuff does start to add up. So just wanted to make that also a point that when you move out to Colorado, a lot of these activities and hobbies do have gear and equipment and stuff that you're going to need to factor into your budget. And to kind of talk through that a little bit further and kind of tie it into home buying, when you guys are looking at homes and you're looking at a home that maybe has a 2-car garage, be aware that that might be a little different than what you really want here compared to a different state, maybe where you're currently at. Maybe where you're currently at, you have a 2-car garage, you got 2 cars, no big deal, everything's fine. Out here, all these activities and hobbies, they start to accumulate a lot of stuff. And if you have a 2-car garage, all of a sudden, once you put all that stuff in your garage, you can only maybe fit 1 car in the garage. So it's really important to understand this and just hopefully find a home that has 1 garage space bigger than really what you need. So if you're just a family of, maybe 4 with the mom and dad each driving their own car, still consider maybe trying to find a home that has a 3-car garage. Or I even have a home right now that I'm selling that has what's known as a 4-car garage, but it's called a 4th tandem spot. And what that means is it has 3 garage doors and then this very significant size additional space next to that 3rd spot. And that's considered a 4th spot. You could fit a small car there. You would just have to maneuver a little bit just to get the car in and out of there. It says it doesn't have its own separate garage door. This is a good example though of how you can put a lot of these hobbies and just stuff, your mountain bikes, your kayak, your whatever it may be, all your skis. You have a place to put that where it's not affecting the space for your actual cars themselves. So a little local tip for you.